Reaching your first $100,000 is an important milestone in your financial journey. This is because at $100,000, your net worth will start to explode. Not just that, it will also open a whole new world to you, as this money will not only give you additional sources of income, but will also allow you to venture into something new while giving you the financial safety net that you need. But first, here's how big of a difference this 100K will make. So let's say you are just starting out and you only have $1,000 to invest. With a 10% return, you earn $100, which is ain't much, but it's honest work, as it's only enough to buy you 20 plates of chicken rice. Then, what about $10,000? This time, a 10% return will let you earn $1,000, which is starting to get decent, but it's still barely enough to buy anything decent. Now, what if you have $100,000? A 10% return would bring in $10,000, which is easily a fresh grad's 3 months pay. And that is a lot of money, yeah. But why do I say that it is at this $100,000 that your net worth will start to explode? Check this out. So, let's say you can only invest $1,000 every month. With an 8% return, it would take you 7 years to reach your first $100,000. During these 7 years, a big part of your 100K is coming from you working hard and saving money, while the returns only contribute to a small part of the total return. Or even if you are super lucky and manage to get a 14% average return, it will still take you 6 years to reach your first 100K. Similarly, the returns will still contribute to a small part of the total return. This is because when the amount is little, there's nothing much to compound. So your only way to grow your money is to just focus on saving as much money as possible
while hoping that your boss will increase your pay.
This is also the reason why Charlie Munger once said that saving your first 100K is the toughest, because most of the money will have to come from your hard work. But then, once you reach your first 100K, that's when the magic starts to happen, because now it will only take you 5 years to get from 100K to 200K, then 3 years to get from 200K to 300K. The compounding gets faster and faster to the point where you are easily earning high 5 digits and 6 digits returns every year until you eventually reach your first $1 million. So as you can see, compounding is only effective when you have a large amount to compound, which starts at $100,000. Not just that, it's also super important to reach your first 100K as early as possible. Here we have Ben. Ben started investing at 21 years old, and he invests $2,400 every year. For some reason, he stopped contributing money at 30 years old, but left the money there to continue compounding. Then we have Joey. Joey only started investing at 30 years old. Similar to Ben, Joey also invests $2,400 every year, but instead of stopping halfway, he invests consistently all the way. So, if an annual return of 11%, who do you think ends up with the most amount of money at 67 years old? The answer is Ben, whose investment has grown to $2.1 million, while Joey, who invested consistently all the way, but started 10 years late, only had $1.2 million. This shows how important it is to start early, because the longer you wait, the less money you will have at the end. Quick pause. If you are looking for the cheapest way to invest, check out Interactive Brokers. It has the lowest fees for stocks, ETFs, options, and so on. Their currency exchange rates are practically the same as the one you see on Google, and they offer tons of free analysis tools to help you with your investing journey. This is the best broker, and it's the one that I'm personally using. Sign up link down below to Interactive Brokers if you are interested. Alright, let's get back to the video. Now, while this 100K helps you grow your wealth through investing, the downside is that there's only so much you can earn through investing. For example, if you invest in the S&P 500, you will only get around 10% return, historically speaking, of course. Or maybe if you invested in QQQ, you could get double the returns. Sure, you can try and aim for even higher returns by investing in single stocks, doing stock trading, options trading, and so on. But those also come with a higher risk of losing money. So unless you are willing to spend more time doing research and improving your skills, realistically, for most of us, you will only be able to get around 10 to 20% average return a year. And even then, the returns are not guaranteed, because a prolonged downturn or a lost decade can happen and all your investing plans will keep up liao. Which brings me to the second point. Investing isn't the only way to use this 100K. If you use the money strategically, you can actually get much better results elsewhere. And one of it is by using the money to buy back your own time. So let's say you want to start some side hustle, but then you are spending too much time on household chores like sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, washing the toilet, and so on. So what if instead of doing all this yourself, you buy a robot that can help to vacuum and mop the floor? Sure, this may be expensive, but then with this robot, you can now get back 2 to 6 hours of your time every week to do your side hustle. Or you can also hire part-time helpers to help with other stuff at a low cost of just $21 an hour, which can further help to free up a few hours of your time. And as long as your side hustle helps you make back at least $21 an hour, you will have already profited from this investment. Now, the cool thing about this is that this money also allows you to buy other people's time and expertise, which can directly help you earn more money. In fact, that's how the rich get super rich. Spoiler alert, the rich got rich not by investing in the S&P 500 or QQQ, but by buying other people's time and expertise. Because this investment can easily give you more than 10 to 20% returns. For example, if you are a freelance video editor who helps others edit their video, if you are doing all this by yourself, you will only have 24 hours a day to work on this, which means your income will be limited. But if you are able to hire some interns, get some part-timers, or even other freelancers to help you, will be able to take on more projects, which in turn will boost your earnings. There's a famous quote which says, "I would rather earn a 1% of a 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts." Now, besides allowing you to buy more time and productivity, the first 100k will also act as a safety net, which in turn will give you the confidence that you need to take on more risks. In investing, this is called the Kuih Lapis strategy, where once you have built up your safe bases, such as CPF and broad-based market index funds, you can then take on riskier investments if you have to. That way, even if all your other investments fail, you still have your bases to fall on. Or in your side hustle, this money gives you the runway that you need to start a new venture, like buying equipment, quit your job, and try out for a few months. So then, how can you get to your first 100k? The idea is actually pretty simple. Live within your means and spend less than you earn, and you will eventually get there. That's it. But of course, in reality, this is easier said than done. Otherwise, you won't get studies where we see that there are people who barely have enough savings. This happens because we are wired to gain happiness by spending on things, whether it's nice food, nice clothes, or some nice house. But as the saying goes, if you spend money on things, you will end up with the things and not the money. Yes, this is a no-brainer, but many of us will often buy things and then wonder why we don't have money. That's why if we want to get rich, we need to change how we think about money. One simple way to do this is to associate spending money with pain and saving money with joy. So challenge yourself to save an amount of money each month, like taking $50 every week and park it into a high-yield savings account to earn a return. Yes, you have to make some sacrifices, exercise delayed gratification, and possibly go for cheaper alternatives in order to save money. In the short term, you may feel bad when everyone else is spending money on Shopee sales, queuing up to buy the new iPhone, or splurging at some concert. But just know that all this sacrifice is worth it. Besides saving money, you will also need to increase your income, because there's only so much expenses you can cut and save before you go crazy. The easiest way to increase your income is to change jobs every 2 to 3 years, because for every change, you will get around 5 to 20% increment as compared to someone who stays at the same position. Otherwise, you can also negotiate for higher pay at your current job. If you are important enough, your boss will definitely increase your pay. Besides that, you can also work on side hustles, such as giving tuition classes, providing freelance service, or even doing YouTube. And lastly, clean up your finances by clearing off any high interest debt that you have, build up emergency fund, and start investing as soon as possible. Like I mentioned earlier, the earlier you start investing, the faster your money will grow later on. In short, reaching your first 100k net worth is just the beginning, but once you reach it, your life will become a lot easier. Anyway, hope you found this useful. Like, share, and subscribe, as I'll be posting new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.